jibber jab, bamboozle, nooka noozle, bippity bop, she-gall. You jibber jab, bamboozle, nooka noozle, bippity bop, she-gall. I mean, you keep on talking, but you don't know where to turn it off.
Welcome to the weekend. I'm Jon Caldara, president of the Independence Institute. You're watching Independent Thinking. So, should we carry guns on college campuses? As you know, CSU has now voted no, not any longer. The 10-year experiment we had there is ended. To talk about that from Larimer County, the sheriff, the law, Jim Alderden, thank you for coming out here.
My pleasure. Thank you, John, for having me.
And of course, we needed the other side. So he's not just the president, he's also a member of Hair Club for Men. Mike Littwin, glad to have you here.
Not
packing?
Not packing.
Oh, you probably have one of those thigh holsters right now.
little Derringer down
exactly.
by the... Yeah.
Actually, I have no idea what's behind your hair. You probably have a snub-nosed revolver back there. Nobody would know. All right, to be fair, we wanted to get somebody from CSU because they're the ones who passed this. We tried CSU. Nobody would come. We tried all 9 governors on the Board of Governors. They wouldn't come. And I was disappointed that nobody who, if this was a good thing and they wanted to change it, they should be able to tell us. I was also disappointed that when the Board of Governors at CSU decided to stop this 10-year tradition, if you will, or law, saying that you can carry if you have, if you're packing heat legally, there was no debate at the meeting. So it was an up or down. Here it is. Everybody. So obviously it was a done deal, signed, sealed, and delivered. The Board of Governors is appointed mostly from the Governor Bill Ritter. I thought it was a real disappointment. Let's bring it over here. Now you give out concealed weapons permits in Larimer County, is that right?
Right. We have about 5,000 concealed weapon permit holders in Larimer County.
What do they have to do in order to get a permit? What's the law?
The law is you have to be of a certain age, 21. You have to have a fairly clean criminal record, certainly no felony convictions, no domestic violence. So we do a fingerprint check, name check with all the local agencies where the person's resided over the last 10 or 15 years. Have to have some demonstrated experience with a handgun, either by participating in shooting sports like with the NRA or to take a handgun safety course. So there's a lot of hoops that you need to jump through, and of course you need to pay the fees to the state and to the sheriff's office to do the background.
And ever since, I want to say about 10 years ago, this became a shall issue law. Before then, a sheriff like you could issue someone a permit if you wanted to. Right. Now you have to if the applicant passes these tests, basically.
Basically, yes. It changed in 2003, and I actually helped work on that piece of legislation and helped write it. And it was largely based on the policy that I implemented when I became sheriff, because it was a huge issue in our county. But there still is a window of opportunity to deny somebody under the naked man theory of somebody that may be a danger to themselves or others. If we can document that, we have a little bit of flexibility on denying the person under certain conditions.
So in other words,
like
if Littwin wanted a carry permit and he still has a clean record, you could look at him and go, no, he's a hippie freak. I'm not going to trust him with a gun. And you could make up something that would. Well,
not quite like that. It's the thing that if you have a guy that maybe you've contacted him 5 times, standing naked in the middle of I-25, howling at the moon, and he hasn't been charged with a felony, that's somebody you still go, actually, maybe we don't want to issue to that guy.
That's a guy I want to hang out with, actually.
It's hard to conceal with being naked.
Yeah, that's a good point. Before we get to CSU, just talk to me about, we've gone on, we're getting close to 10 years now on a concealed carry permit system statewide. Before that, Larimer County, El Paso County, Boulder County, under Democrat Sheriff George Epp, started a systematic way of having concealed weapons permits. Has this been a bad thing for Colorado? Has any of the panic materialized?
No, as one who opposed the concealed carry law when it was written, I never wrote that this would end up being where people would be dead in the street because of the concealed carry. People on both sides sort of make these claims, and you can look at the people. There are a million statistics, but statistics basically show that there really isn't much difference as far as safety is concerned on one side or the other. There aren't that many people who stop robberies on the street with guns, with a concealed weapon. There aren't that many more people who get killed in in a murder if if there isn't a concealed weapon ban. So I'm pretty much neutral on whether it helps or doesn't help as far as safety. To me, it's more of the idea, and I've learned a lot since I've lived in Colorado about the culture and what gun culture means. I grew up in cities in the East, and where most of the headlines to do with guns are about gangs and about drive-by shootings and about little children killed while sitting on their porch, and where it seems pretty clear that fewer guns in those neighborhoods, it's better. It's better if there are fewer guns than if there are more. And in fact, there are more, and you have these basically shooting galleries.
I'd have to do my best Dave Kopel impersonation right now and go through the statistical analysis showing that in those states where we've had concealed weapons permits, that we found that violent crime has gone down, not necessarily car robberies and the rest.
Right.
I'd look at D.C., which for a year now has finally allowed, after the Heller case, private ownership of guns, and the murder rate in the first year has dropped by 25%.
Yeah.
Well, you can say there's
murder
a causation.
rate's down all over,
right.
and
but
murder rate's down in New York.
No city rate is down. That's why
murder rate is down dramatically in New York over the last 20, 30 years.
Right,
dramatically.
We haven't seen a city like D.C. go down.
New York has very strict gun laws.
Right, but bring it here.
To your
Bring it here.
point, though, the gang members aren't coming and getting concealed weapon permits.
That's
they're going to carry.
absolutely true, and that's why I say I don't. I mean, that's why I said at the beginning. I don't think concealed carry permits have much to do either way with crime rate. I mean, that's.
And I tell you what, we could get in a big argument about that. So let's put the bookmarker there.
Yeah.
I disagree, but let's bring it here. You say there's about 5,000 folks in Larimer County that have concealed weapons permits. Mm-hmm. Not all of them are students, but I would imagine a small amount of them are either students or faculty members or other people at CSU. And unlike my alma mater, CU, CSU never implemented a gun ban when this went into effect. So tell me if I'm wrong on this.
No, you're right.
But students who are 21 can carry their gun if they want. More importantly, and more likely, I think, faculty members and other staff members, if they've got a gun, can carry that gun or keep it with them legally if they do it right on campus.
That's right.
After this 10 years of this, how's it been? How many problems have there been on CSU's campus?
I asked that same question in a letter to the president and the board, and the answer that I can come up with is none. There hasn't been a single issue on campus involving anybody with a concealed weapon permit of any significance. So, trying to get some data from them to support their position has been impossible because it isn't out there. In fact, I think if you look across the country and look at incidents on a college campus with a concealed weapon permit holders, they're non-existent.